Alright everybody, this video is going to be me talking about my anticipated movies that are coming from a streaming service. These movies are going to vary from Netflix to Disney Plus to HBO Max to Hulu and Apple TV Plus. Couldn't really find anything for Prime, but I'm sure there's going to be some stuff coming out later on in the year that I'll like or be excited for. So let's get to it. To start us off with Netflix, a movie that I'm looking forward to watching that's actually already come out. It came out last Friday on March 11th, is The Adam Project. It looks like a little mix between like E.T., Earth to Echo, Star Wars, Back to the Future. It looks like a mix of a whole bunch of different things. It's from Ryan Reynolds, of course. He's a star, and the director of Free Guy, Sean Levy, who's actually going to be directing Deadpool 3 now. So they seem to get along quite well, so can't wait to see what this movie has to bring. Coming to us next in the Netflix lineup is going to be Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's supposed to release in December, and the animation style looks unique. It looks different. It looks like James and the Giant Peach or Coraline type animation. So I'm curious to see which version of Pinocchio he's going to do. Pinocchio can be a very dark character. Disney's known for taking very dark stories and making them on the lighter side. So I'm curious to see if he's going to do that, make it his own, or go off the original Pinocchio story. So that's something to look forward to at the end of the year. Coming up next, we have Knives Out 2. The release date set for 2022, no specific date. I assume they're going to do what they did with the first one and release it around Thanksgiving. I believe this movie takes place in Greece, so they might do it in late summer, depending on when they filmed it. Not too sure, but I was actually a really big fan of the first movie. I love those murder mystery, whodunit type movies, and Rian Johnson, this is going to be his third time doing a whodunit movie. He did, obviously, Knives Out. He's going to be doing Knives Out 2, and one that he did, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s, was Brick. And it was a slow movie, but it was a pretty good whodunit movie. So looking forward to that. It's a pretty stacked cast. I do like how the only person returning is going to be Daniel Craig. They had talked about him doing a different accent for each movie, just pretending to be a different detective. So we'll see what happens with that, but looking forward to this one. Really excited about it. The last movie that I have here on my Netflix list is called Escape from Spiderhead. It's set to release just sometime in 2022. Kind of like Knives Out, there's no specific date for it. So if it hasn't really been announced yet, there hasn't been too much trailers, I would assume in the later half of the year, maybe third or fourth quarter of the year. So we'll see. But does have a pretty good cast with Miles Teller and Chris Hemsworth, so I like both those guys, and I'm pretty sure it'll be an interesting movie. I think they're like escapees or convicts or something like that. I honestly couldn't even tell you, but just from like the little description that I read and the cast, I'm looking forward to it. I'll give it a watch. Okay, now heading into Disney Plus territory. So the first movie on my Disney Plus list is going to be another Pinocchio movie. It's set to come out in September of this year, 2022. The director is Robert Zemeckis. He's best known for doing Back to the Future. He's done a ton of other movies too. But I actually don't even know the cast. I just know that Tom Hanks is Geppetto, and from the picture, it looks like a really good Geppetto. It looks like a cool Geppetto. Looks like they're making this one almost like the Lion King. They're just basically taking the animation and just plopping that exact movie into live action. So whether or not it holds majority of similarity or they change some stuff up doesn't really matter to me. I just like the idea of live action Pinocchio. I've liked a lot of the live action Pinocchio adaptations, so I'm actually surprised as to how many there are. But yeah, Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis, Pinocchio, Disney, looking forward to it. Next on the list of Disney Plus, we have Peter Pan and Wendy. There's no actual specific release date. It's just said to come out in 2022. I believe Jude Law is going to be playing Captain Hook. I feel like he'll do a really good job. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be kind of like an origin of Peter, not an origin of Peter Pan, but basically just like the cartoon, the original cartoon, or if it's going to be like the sequel cartoon, Peter Pan and Wendy. I'm pretty sure that was one of the sequels. So nothing too official released on it yet, other than that it's supposed to release sometime this year, so we will see. Lastly on the list for Disney Plus original movies is going to be the Russo brothers animated adaptation of Super Fudge. I didn't even know this was going to be a thing until I was doing some research right now. It's set to release on September 16th, so we will see. Only thing that I really know about this movie, aside from the Russos, I think they're just producing it, but aside from them producing it, is that it was a book that I read, or that more so that my teacher read to us as a class in third grade. And she always did really funny voices and everything, and so as soon as I saw the title, I had no question about what it was. I knew exactly what it was. So if you do want to read the book, the author is Judy Blume, and I think there's a whole 3 or 4 books just based off this one character, maybe even more. But either way, looking forward to it. I'll watch it. Moving on into HBO Max, a movie that has been set to release this year in December is Batgirl. I know that they've done some shuffling around of all the DC movies. Supposedly Ezra Miller's Flash was supposed to change a lot of things, but they moved that all the way into summer of next year. So I assume that this Batgirl will now get postponed to next December because I think Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be a pretty big part of it. So if Flash got moved and Michael Keaton was supposed to be the catalyst in that movie to Batgirl, I don't know what they're going to do. But as of right now, it's still set to come out this December on HBO Max. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. It could go many different ways. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're not going to be releasing this in theaters because it's going to play a pretty big part in the DCEU or the future of the DCEU. So we'll see. Next up on our HBO Max list, we're going into the horror franchise with Final Destination 6. There is no official release on this. It just said release date's supposed to come out sometime in 2022. John Watts, the director of the newest Spider-Man trilogy, is going to be producing it. Not too sure who the director is, but there hasn't been a whole lot of information out about it other than it's supposed to come out this year. So we'll see. I only have the first 4 on DVD. I didn't even know there's going to be 6. I thought it was going to be 5, if I'm being honest with you. But I do like those movies. They're just kind of entertainment movies, kind of like the Scream movies. They're just there. It's just fun to watch them and kind of escape for a little bit. So I am looking forward to this one. Being on a streaming service makes me think that they're going to go a little bit edgier with it actually than what they would do if they had just a R rating for the movies. So we'll see. We'll hope for good things. Next up is going to be the Father of the Bride remake with Andy Garcia. So I am a fan of the original too. I do still wish they would have made a third one and have it be about his grandchildren with Steve Martin. But either way, I mean, I like Andy Garcia. I don't mind remakes or reboots or whatever this plans on being, so I'll give it a watch. The last movie on my list for HBO Max is going to be the House Party remake. I haven't seen the first one. I know it came out in 1990, so I do want to watch this one because I definitely want to see just the difference in time and how they're going to treat like the script and everything like that, because I feel like now you got to be kind of careful with comedy. But either way, it should be a good time. It's supposed to come out on July 28th. I really don't know the cast. I just follow a couple comedians that are going to have some cameos in it. So that's the main reason why I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, hopefully it surprises me. Moving on, we're going to get into the couple movies that I got that I want to see on Hulu. The first movie is Deep Water with Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck. It comes out next week on March 25th. I really don't know much about it other than the fact that they started dating while filming this movie. But just from the trailer, it looks like a good thriller mystery type movie. Last thriller movie that Ben Affleck was in was Gone Girl, and that movie was awesome. So I got high hopes for this one. Next up on my Hulu list is Prey, which is the prequel to Predator. It takes place 300 years ago, so I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do. So again, it's on Hulu, so I feel like because it's on a streaming platform, they have a little bit more freedom with their script and the way they want to do things with it. There's no actual release date for it. It just says 2022. So hopefully we get it this year. I would assume we'd get it around Halloween time, October-ish, maybe November, and then obviously latest at December. Otherwise, they're going to have to postpone it. So we'll see. All right, so the last movie I have is going to be coming from Apple TV Plus. I'm sure there's more of them. They just either haven't announced them or the research I did just didn't bring me enough. But either way, the movie I'm going to be looking forward to from Apple TV Plus is Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a movie that has been either filming or announced since, I think, 2019 or 2020. There's no actual release date for it yet. It just says this year. Whenever it says just this year, I'm going to assume it's around October, November, December-ish. So maybe September with this one. But I'm looking forward to it despite not knowing anything about it, just because you got Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio teaming up. And whenever they make a movie, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon, 2022. Alright guys, so that is it for my most anticipated movies of 2022 that are coming out on a streaming service. If some of my most anticipated movies are your most anticipated movies, go ahead and leave them below in the comments. Let me know why. Let me know what you're looking forward to. If there's some movies on here that I missed and didn't talk about at all, again, leave them in the comments. Let me know. I'll research them and then maybe I'll add them to the list. So yeah, that's it for me. See you guys in the next one.